the right time for Right Time Radio. I am Lynn Donovan.
And I'm Sue Hawes.
Good. Oh, thank you. Unfortunately, we don't have Carrie in our studio today.
No, she has to deal with me.
But, you know.
Turn on my mic, that would help.
Yeah, please do. It's not such a laborsome thing to deal with you, though.
Oh, no, it's pretty much, I just sit back, I'm on cruise control. So I point fingers. That's all I do.
Yeah,
right.
but we are so happy to be back on the air. This is our post-quarantine debut, getting Right Time Radio back on the air live. We're so excited, but we've got some changes. First of all, there's a voice missing. You might notice Tom Bruno has taken a job with Amazon and is working as an operations manager out in California. So he is no longer on the show, but he's here in spirit.
Yes.
Sue, tell him why he's here in spirit.
Tom is sponsoring our show today, Papa's
Yes.
Pizza.
Yes, so be sure and get out to Florence and get you some pizza and some calzones and his grandmother's recipe
Excuse me,
for
I'm
the
right
sauce.
back. Run over to Florence real quick.
You know, when I saw the other night, too, when I was in town, that they're delivering now. too.
Yes,
So-
yes. And you can still pick it up at the window if you don't want to go in the restaurant.
Yes.
So you can still reserve upstairs for parties. So as long as the governor lets us have those get-togethers, they're still doing it. So thank you so much, Tom Bruno, for sponsoring today's show for us. We appreciate that so much. And the other change is that we have a new co-host, Sue Haas. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on here with me.
Oh, thank you for asking. It's a dream come true.
Sue and I have a lot of fun together, and I just thought, gosh, if I was going to have somebody at my side in the radio station, who would it be except Sue, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
my feelings are hurt
the
now.
terrible two here.
Yeah, we get in a lot of trouble, actually, but that's okay. Shh, don't tell anybody. All right, and then to my far right, we have our guest, and we've had her on the show before, but I'm so excited to tell you all that we have Sandra Miller Linhart. Hi.
Hi. How are you guys today?
We're awesome.
well.
Getting back into the swing of things. It's just so much fun. Sue, did you know that Sandra Miller Linhart was born in Lander, Wyoming on a warm summer day? I always feel like music should be playing when I read this.
Real
Dio.
delicate,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Soft.
Chimes and then kind of a screeching halt.
Then we get to the part about the real Sandra.
She has 5 daughters, 7 grandkids, and currently resides in beautiful mountains of Colorado. Her formal education includes C.A. Barstow College, where she studied and excelled in art and design. And I know she uses that today as a graphics artist for a lot of authors, including herself.
And publishing houses.
Yeah, and publishing houses for the covers of books. So, and there's a lot of work that goes into that, I know, because I hire people out to do it.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Let's see, as well as receiving a degree in sociology, focusing on family and child psychology. Miss Linhart also attended the University of Georgia, where she received certificates in private investigation and creative writing. That's a diverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. You write PI stories.
I should, but
You
no.
should, yeah.
I don't.
No.
Not yet. Not
That
yet.
would be fun. That would
Yeah,
be
there
fun.
you go.
Let's see. And where was I? Where she? Okay, she is currently an author and let's see, y'all. She also went to Colorado Mountain College, where she earned her paralegal degree. My goodness, you are a
You are
diverse
diverse.
person. Yes.
Very much.
That's why we like her so much.
Yeah.
She's just so interesting. She is an award-winning author.
Yes.
And rather than
Multiple.
listing them, because that would take the entire hour, we'll just say that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
That works.
Oh, my goodness. Well, she has brought today something so much fun. She has a book called Diary of an Unkept Woman, and she has brought for us to hear an excerpt from that diary. You want to tell us a little bit about that diary?
Well, it's actually Unkempt woman.
Unkempt, yes.
Yeah, because I'm a little
Sorry.
disheveled. That's okay. It's just a compilation of really bad poetry and some excerpts from a blog I used to write, and short stories and allegories and stuff like that. It does really well, and you can get that on Amazon or here at Kaleidoscope at 602 Main. Is it 602
Right, I
Main?
believe it is 602, but definitely 6th and Main. Yes.
6th and Main, and they
That
have
corner.
They have a little area there for a lot of the local art authors,
Correct.
and you can find that there, or you can get it at your favorite online bookstore or whatever, if you so desire.
Yes.
And I am reading an excerpt.
Yes.
That's a hard word for me.
Excerpt.
She's reading a little piece of the story.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Called Sandy Reilly, and it's a modern day Cinderella story.
Oh my goodness, that is going to be so good. I cannot wait. All right, well, I see no reason not to just get started. Do you, Sue?
No, I think we're ready.
Have we covered all of our bases, getting all the new introductions and everything? Telling Tom goodbye, and thank
Yeah.
you for sponsoring us. All right.
Tom,
well,
if you're listening, I miss you.
yes.
Yes.
I'm going to send him a copy of the show today, so hopefully he will get to hear
Okay, good.
all of our little comments. Actually, I suggested that he play it over the PA at his warehouse, and he told me, haha, if I want to get fired, I'll be sure and do that. I thought it was a great idea.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, take it away, Sandra.
Okay, this is Sandy Reilly. Not yesterday, but a while ago, there was a plain, ordinary little girl. Her reddish blonde hair played wildly upon her head, making it impossible to tame. Freckles sprayed her cheeks and nose like paint. An unremarkable girl in all respects. And her name was Sandy Reilly. Sandy Reilly lived on the outskirts of a small, rundown town in an adequate but small, rundown house in the middle of a small, rundown field. In fact, everything about the Wyoming town was run down. The pool, the school, the store, everything. Sandy Reilly's mother did her best to make their rundown house a comfortable home. She sewed curtains from bright purple, green, and pink materials. She taught Sandy Reilly how to sew, and together they mended and brightened up the place. Mrs. Reilly also cooked the most wonderful treats and meals. She soon taught Sandy to cook, too, telling her someday, somewhere, Sandy Reilly would make a good partner in life. Sandy Reilly learned to scrub and clean the rundown house into a shiny, rundown home. She planted beautiful flowers and bushes to cover the cracks in the sidewalks and walls outside their home. Excuse me. She painted stems over the cracks on the walls inside and painted beautiful flowers to match the brilliant curtains. Sandy Reilly knew what made things beautiful, and spent her days growing up, practicing her art. There was nothing Sandy Reilly couldn't do. Like her mom, she could build and paint. She could mend and sew. She knitted, she washed, she planted and gardened, and cooked what she grew into tasty treats. The Reillys' home glowed with love.
Hey, let's stop right there and go to commercials, because that will give you a little over 15 minutes to read a little bit more of this excerpt, because it is so good.
That sounds wonderful.
I can't wait to hear more. Take it away, Tay.
You got it.
Hi, this is Hunter, landfill operator at the Phantom Landfill. Stop by today and check out our state-of-the-art scale that allows for quick and easy disposal. No more paying for that empty space. We can also provide certified weights. The landfill is open at 7:30 a.m. with the last load being accepted at 3:45 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So, what are you waiting for? Come out to the Phantom Landfill today, located at 2500 County Road 67 in Penrose, or give us a call at 719-372-6671.
Rural Gorge Radio, along with these local businesses, want to give you free money.
Visit one of these Money Day store locations. In the Alta store in Fremont County, High Country Bank, 150 Reynolds Avenue, Kaleidoscope Inspiration, 602 Main Street, Coyote Coffee Den, Highway 115 Penrose, and Waterhome number 1, 1532 Elm Avenue.
Be present at your favorite Money Day location for Money Day. Same time, 2:30, and same channels, AM 1400 Carolyn and 104.5 Star Country.
And if your business in the Fremont or Pueblo County area and would like to be a part part of our Money Day celebration, just give us a call, 275-7488.
Hey, y'all, it's Chelsea Lynn. Join Annalie and myself every Tuesday afternoon at 2:30 at your favorite Money Day location for your chance to win some free cash.
So visit a Money Day store location, register, be present at a Money Day store location every Tuesday afternoon. Listen for your name, hear your name, call back, and win. It's that easy.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook for the latest Money Day details.
KRLN weather, mostly sunny and hot today. A 30% chance of afternoon and evening thunderstorms with a high today around 90. Mostly cloudy this evening, then becoming partly cloudy overnight tonight, low near 58. Sunny and hot tomorrow, some scattered showers with a high around 91. 56 was the overnight low. We had a high of 94 yesterday with a trace of rain. Currently 75 degrees at the Weather Center.
Radio 1400, KRLN.
The following books, stories, plays, poems, or limericks you will hear on Right Time Radio are the intellectual property of the writers and authors mentioned. Any copying, recording, or reproduction of this work is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of the author. The content of this show is the individual expression of the author and does not necessarily reflect the views of the owner of this radio station.
Okay, we are back with Right Time Radio. If you will notice, we're here on Wednesdays now instead of Fridays, and we're at 9 o'clock in the morning instead of 10 o'clock. So we're so happy that all of you are tuning in and listening to our show. Today we have Sandra Miller Linhart, and I have my co-host Sue Haas. And our producer, I suppose we'd call you that, Tay?
I've been called a lot of things. I guess that'll work.
The guy that runs the board.
Pushes the buttons and
pushes the button, because I sure don't know how to.
Up and down.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Anyway, we have Sandra on here today, and she's reading an excerpt from her Diary of an Unkempt Woman. Take it away, Sandra.
One day, not long ago, but not yesterday, Mrs. Reilly told her daughter to leave their home to find a partner in life. She said the best place to find a partner to love and respect you for what you are is in college. So at the age of 17, like most girls, Sandy Reilly scolded her hair with a brush, covered her freckles with brown face paste, and headed off to college. She drank in the knowledge of books and listened carefully to the men and women in long robes who spoke of things she'd never even imagined. She didn't look hard for a partner in life, but every time she talked to her mother, she heard how important it was to find the perfect one. Right before she left the college with a diploma, Sandy really realized she had failed her mother. She had knowledge, but not a partner in life. She knew she didn't have much time. School would soon be finished, and everyone would be going home. She'd go back to her small, rundown house in the middle of a small, rundown field on the outskirts of the small, rundown town in Wyoming, where finding a partner in life would be next to impossible. Sandy really took her head from her books and looked around. People surrounded her. They were learning. They laughed and talked. They shared ideas, like the men and women in long robes who taught her. She joined in and soon found herself in a group of people called friends. Sandy really never had friends before and was thrilled with the feeling. She spoke and they listened. They spoke and she listened. Sometimes they disagreed. Sometimes they agreed. But always they smiled and shared and welcomed others' thoughts and feelings. Sandy really started learning more about life from these talks than she did from her mother or the men and women in long robes. Tom Twiddle was one of these friends. Tom Twiddle made a special effort to stand next to Sandy Reilly. Tom listened and agreed with everything Sandy said. Soon Sandy found herself alone with Tom and felt something she had never felt before. Tom was rich and smart. Everything Mrs. Reilly had said Sandy Reilly wanted in a partner in life. And before she knew it, Sandy Reilly was Mrs. Twiddle. Mrs. Twiddle found herself in a beautiful house with no need for paint. There were no cracks in the walls, inside or out, none in the sidewalks, no place to plant food or flowers. There were other people in the house to take care of things like that. Tom Twiddle forbade Mrs. Twiddle to paint, but he allowed her to cook. Mrs. Twiddle cooked the most incredible meals for Tom Twiddle, and he allowed her to sew. So she sewed the most elaborate robes for him. He allowed her to clean. So she kept his house spotless and did everything her mother taught her to keep her partner happy. And Tom Twiddle was happy, but Mrs. Twiddle was not. Nobody spoke to her anymore. No one listened to what she said. Mrs. Twiddle felt lonely in her beautiful house full of people. Mrs. Twiddle's fingers throbbed at the end of the day from mending Tom Twiddle's favorite clothes. Her back ached from polishing his floor into the shine he prided. Her hands wore blisters from making his favorite meals in the hot oven. Mrs. Twiddle sat on the couch next to Tom Twiddle and snuggled up to his side. Tom Twiddle pushed her away and said the game was about over, but could she be a dear and get him a snack? Yes, Mrs. Twiddle was a good partner in life, but Tom Twiddle was not. The day came when she found herself back in the small, rundown house in the middle of the small, rundown field on the outskirts of the small, rundown town in Wyoming. She gave back Tom Twiddle's name and became Sandy Really once again. Sandy really liked being home at first. Then she became sad and lonely. She missed the big, beautiful home she shared with Tom Twiddle. She yearned to talk to friends again. Mrs. Really saw her daughter's pain and told her to go to the city to find a job and maybe a new and different partner in life. A while ago, but not yesterday, Sandy Really set off for the big city. At first, she was afraid because she left the small rundown town on the small rundown bus. But as the bus got closer and closer to the big city, Sandy Really thought the city looked a lot like her old rundown town, only bigger, much bigger. The bus station in the city was as run down as the one in her rundown town, only bigger, much bigger. Sandy Really found a small rundown apartment in the city next to a small rundown restaurant where she found a job. She went from table to table and got people what they asked for. If they were nice people, they left her spare change. If they weren't, they left her nothing. Luckily for Sandy Really, most of the people who ate at the restaurant were nice, and soon Sandy Really had a decent apartment filled with little trinkets to make her happy. In the small rundown restaurant next to her small rundown apartment worked a cook named Gary Greatest. Sandy Really liked Gary Greatest. He made her laugh until she couldn't stand up. Gary Greatest lived in a decent apartment near hers, and soon they became good friends. They went to the movies together and talked all night long about what Gary Greatest thought was right with the world. And like the last time, before she knew what happened, Sandy Really became Mrs. Greatest. Now, strange things happen to some people when they find themselves with just any old partner in life. Mrs. Greatest knew Tom Twiddle had changed, but she never thought Gary Greatest would. And yet, he did. He liked to drink brown liquid from a bottle. And when he did it a lot, Gary Greatest became bad. Gary broke Mrs. Greatest's little trinkets. He shouted names at her and sold most of her things for more of the bottled brown liquid. At night, Mrs. Greatest was not only sore from working, cooking, and cleaning, but also from bruises and marks Gary Greatest left on her when he had too much of the brown liquid. Mrs. Greatest was lonely. She didn't have anyone to talk to, and she was scared. Once again, she gave Gary Greatest back his name and became Sandy Really. But Sandy Really didn't return to the small rundown house in the middle of the small rundown field on the outskirts of a small rundown town in Wyoming. Instead, she found a nice apartment in a pretty part of the city and took a job in the tall building down the block. She was smart, after all, and could use what she learned from college at her new job. She liked the people there, enjoyed talking with them. She soon forgot all about Tom Twiddle and Gary Greatest. Sandy Really worked hard at the job she loved, and before long she had a beautiful house of her own. It had no cracks, but she still painted flowers on the walls. She could afford curtains, but she sewed her own out of purple, green, and pink materials anyway. She didn't need them, but she planted a garden of vegetables and grew flowers too. She let her hair play wildly on her head and stopped covering her freckles with brown face paste. Sandy Really was happy for the first time since she left her small rundown home in the middle of the small rundown field on the outskirts of the small rundown town in Wyoming. Not yesterday, but before, Sandy really wasn't looking for a partner in life anymore, but she met someone anyway. Robbie Reliable worked next to Sandy Reilly in the big office building. They became good friends, and soon Robbie Reliable moved into Sandy Reilly's beautiful home. This time, Sandy Reilly stayed Sandy Reilly, and Robbie remained reliable. Robbie and Sandy both cooked when they wanted to eat, and they both cleaned when they needed to clean. They painted and planted and shared ideas, and they laughed together, and they smiled together, and sometimes they cried together. But not for long. Robbie and Sandy's home glowed with love. Sandy then knew what her mother meant when she told her to go out and find a partner in life. And Sandy knew Robbie was the right partner for her. But to this day, yes, even yesterday, remarkably, she is just Sandy. Really.
That's great. I want to applaud. That was so good.
Thank you.
What a fun story.
And so relatable to so many women.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's kind of an autobiography type piece there.
I wondered,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Diary of the Unkempt Woman. Tell us what's the difference in an unkept woman and an unkempt woman.
Well, a kept woman is somebody who has a sugar daddy.
What's that like?
I don't know.
I haven't figured that one out yet, yeah.
Me neither.
But an unkept woman is somebody who is very disheveled and not put together very well.
Yeah.
Her
Like
hair
we
playing
all.
wildly around her face, and she has freckles.
Yes.
We call rough around the edges.
Right around the edges.
Yeah.
My mother used to say tough cookie.
Yeah.
That one's a
Yeah.
tough,
Tough cookie.
Yeah.
Well, that was awesome, though. I thoroughly enjoy Sandra's writing.
Yes.
You-
And
she-
Sandra.
Thank you.
And Sandra, yes, she is so, I want to say prolific, because you write children's books, you write adults' books, you write, this is like self-therapy.
Yeah. Well, and I just, well, not just, I think in August of 2018, a book I co-wrote with J.B. King, which is Frozen Tears. It's a true crime.
Right.
So I write children's books and true crime novels.
all over
That's
the
where
place.
the PI thing comes.
And
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. And one of these days, we're all going to collaborate on a PI story, right?
That'll be fun.
I do love murder mysteries.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like mystery. Even in my romances, I still like a little mystery where you don't quite know what's going to happen till you get to the end, and then you go,
There it is.
all right. Well, can we go to a commercial, and then we'll come back and talk some more with Sandra about her writing, and who knows what we'll talk about on Right Time Radio.
Yeah. But we'll figure something out.
Got big dreams for your small business? You're not alone. Assurance Partners is a growing business too. That's why they work with Nationwide, the #1 small total business insurer in the U.S. Nationwide can help protect and grow your business so you can focus on making your small business dreams come true. Give Assurance Partners a call today at 1-800-563-1871. Nationwide is on your side. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio, subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval. See your local Assurance Partners at 408 Main Street, Canyon City.
Well, guess what? After a short hiatus, Mr. Ed's Family Restaurant is back open, and Steve says there ain't no virus gonna shut him down. Mr. Ed's will be open from Friday through Monday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Dine-in or takeout. Now you can call Mr. Ed's at 275-5833, place your order, and choose from any one of the incredible menu choices. That number again is 275-5833 for Mr. Ed's Family Restaurant.
It was the 1970s, and 9 out of 10 people listen to the radio at least once every week. Today, you know what that statistic is? According to Nielsen, 9 out of 10 people listen to the radio every week. Surprise! Radio is full of surprises. Here's another one. Millennials make up the largest group of radio listeners in Colorado. Surprise! Reach 9 out of 10 people with your message on radio. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Brought to you by the Colorado Broadcasters Association and this station.
Radio. It's me, Lynn Donovan, and my new co-host, Sue Haas.
Hi.
Sue Haas lives in Coal Creek, which is just right up the road, little ways.
Yep, up in the desert.
Yeah, did you guys just get pounded with some rain and hail a couple days ago?
Pounded. I finally got something to grow. I had
And it got beat to death.
I did. I had 5 Kansas sunflowers that had made it all the way to about 4 feet tall, and they were beautiful. And I built a little shrine around them.
Worship the sunflower.
And they were the only thing that got damaged. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
The cars and the house survived.
Oh, good.
But my sunflowers were completely stripped.
Oh. She put pictures on Facebook, so
yeah,
I knew.
Well,
She put pictures of the hail. You were holding it in your hand, and it was like a bouncy ball size.
Big hail.
Yeah.
It was big.
Yeah, we saw it because I live in North Canyon, and we're just watching it go by. I'm like, that's looking really ugly over there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and we're standing there with our cameras going, oh, look at this. There's a storm coming. Wow, bang!
Goodness gracious.
That was not good.
Well, listen, Sandra, thank you for sharing your excerpt from Diary of an Unkept Woman. It is such a good book, and if you guys out there would like to read some more of Sandra's book, she has it available at the Kaleidoscope here in Canyon City.
I do.
And if you talk real nice to the owners, you can probably find out when she'll be by, and you can get her autograph.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun, too.
I'll do that.
Yeah. One of the owners there is related to Sandra.
Oh, don't tell anybody
some
that.
way.
Oh my gosh, that was a secret.
It's a
Strike
distant,
that. You didn't hear that.
distant relative.
She's just the daughter of my mom's sister. So, however
one of
that's
those.
related.
I have no
That
idea.
is distant. Yes. Convoluted, distant.
But my point is she kind of has an idea of when Sandra might be in there, so you can get her autograph in your book. And you have other books in there too. Actually, several authors in Canyon City area has their books.
Yes.
In your booth area,
In my
I guess
booth
you would
area,
call it,
yeah.
and including Lynn Donovan has some of her books.
Lynn Donovan does, and Tom Bruno.
And Tom
I don't
Bruno.
know. She's a really nice lady, though. I've talked to her a couple times.
Thanks.
Yeah.
David Lynn Spencer is in there. Nancy Oswald.
Then we have Tracy Beach is in there.
Tracy Beach is in there.
Russell Chase is in
Yes,
here. Isn't he
Russell.
going to be here
We're going to
next?
have him next week. Thank you
Yeah.
for mentioning that. Yeah. He's got his 3rd book published with his story in Alaska, which, by the way, my husband loved that series.
Yeah.
We actually contacted Russell and met him in the parking lot here at the KRLN studio and bought a book from him. I felt like we were doing something illegal, but we weren't.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
It is.
Underground book market at KRLN.
Are you sure it was just a book?
It really was just a book, and nothing was stashed inside. But my husband loves that story. He likes that kind of story. You know,
And
that
it's a good
frontier.
series. Yeah, it's. I want to say I'll probably get this wrong, Russell. I'm sorry if I do, but I want to say it's like 1916 time frame or 1918.
I think you're right. Yeah,
And it's
kind of
really interesting. He keeps it historically accurate.
Historical Alaska.
And it's
which
based on people he knew, and he actually lived in Alaska for like 17 years or something
A
like that.
long
So it's
time.
kind of based on some people he knew and
Yeah.
places that he was at, and I want him to organize a vacation so I can go and
Alaska's
see everything.
still my bucket list. Yeah,
Me too.
I want to go.
So, and then David Lynn Spencer, she has all of hers in there. She has the Canyon City Chronicle or whatever that is.
Right,
And
right.
So that's a good.
It is. That is. She's. Oh my goodness. She's such a good author too. I
she
I
is.
admire all the other authors. And Sue,
And
you
it's-
too. You're an author and you write incredible stuff. I love your creativity. And she can take a bad date and turn it into a hysterical drama.
Yeah,
Which she did that on the show once. It was
we did that on the show.
onion rings.
I write better when I have assignments.
She does write better when she has
So,
assignments.
You know, I wrote
give
Coal
her
Creek
assignments.
Fire
Yes, you did.
for the show. And I'm
A drama.
I'm currently writing a bunch of commercials.
Cool.
That we're filming and putting online.
And I'm
so.
saying this to remind her she's also helping me write a Christmas play
Oh yeah.
for my church that's going to be.
She sends me an email and says, you know, if you have anything, bring it. I'm like, I'm writing commercials right now.
She is.
Just a
And I
minute,
realize
it's
that, but
Christmas.
She puts it on the back burner, and I keep bringing it up to the front burner and turning the fire up on it.
Sunday at church, she said, "Here, you write this part."
I said,
okay.
You work better with assignments. Here's your assignment.
Here's your part to write.
Well, speaking of how do you write your stuff, how do you write your stuff, Sandra? We have a term called pansters and plotters. Do you feel like you fall in any one of those categories?
I am mostly a panster until I get going, and then I start writing down. I have to write down notes, especially when it gets real convoluted. I have to remember what year they were born.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies, define that.
I understand. For those who don't know. Go ahead, Sandra.
Okay, a pantster is somebody who writes by the seat of their pants. And a plotter is somebody who basically has an outline. And I can't really do an outline very well unless it's more of a research paper.
Yeah.
We did have to do outlines with Frozen Tears, the true crime book. But and that was because JB works as he's a retired Missouri State Patrol officer and a retired sheriff.
Oh, nice.
So he, writes like you would imagine a police officer would.
A report. An incident report.
Exactly. So he did more of the outline and
nice.
So that was kind of interesting to work that way for once. It was a change from my normal.
Right. I tried doing outlines, and I found that my characters tear it up and throw it away and take off with their own story, and I'm just chasing after trying to get down what they're doing, because it's like, oh, that's so much better.
So have you ever been writing and then you just get in this zone, and then you come out of the zone and you look back at what you read and you're like, wait, I wrote that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have done that.
Yes. I'm writing something right now that I told Lynn that I'm not sure it's mine.
Yeah.
And
she's actually double checking.
I'm actually double checking because I look at it and I say, this is, it's actually a praise song. And I don't write music. And,
although she's a wonderful singer, I'll just throw that in there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But anyway, the weird thing is that I look at it and I go, nah, that didn't come out of my fingers.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure that it's not something. What I was thinking about this, which is odd, is because New Horizons Thrift Store plays nice background music. And I told myself, maybe I heard this at New Horizons.
Subconsciously.
and I'm
well, she is checking to make sure she's
But I
not
am,
plagiarizing something.
Yeah, because we are possessive of our words. And
yes, but if it does work out that it's not plagiarism, you're going to share it at our church, right?
Yes.
Which, by the way, is Living Word Four Squares over by Dawson Ranch.
Just
throwing that in there. And you're all welcome to come and hear Sue's new song.
Yeah, if it turns out to be Sue's.
Yeah. So I'll ask you one, Sandra. Have you ever been riding along and your character just sabotages your plot?
Yes.
And you're like,
yes, all the time. And I'm like, you need to mind your manners because, it's taken me off in tangents that I didn't and that I had to totally change my focus on where the book was going.
Right.
And it
Usually,
surprises me.
The odd thing is usually the characters know where it needs to go better than we think we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll read that and say, oh, I see where you're going with this.
Yes, that is so good.
Yeah.
One or two times I've had to pull those reins back and actually know, because this certain thing has to be accomplished and you're going way off over here on this other, rabbit trail. Like, you got to get back over here. Come here.
Yeah,
and I've even had to pull stuff out and rewrite
always
to get them back.
So I also noticed that I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, no.
Derailed her train of thought.
I did.
Sorry about that.
Do you find yourself talking to your characters?
Oh,
the time.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I miss them when I'm done with the book.
I can picture them in my head and I can hear their voices.
Know what they look like. Yes. Yes. And when you said that about going down the rabbit hole, I thought, no, if I can, I'll put you in another chapter.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
I never destroy anything I've ever written. I will copy, paste, pull out, set aside, but I never destroy it because it can be used somewhere else.
Yes.
Yeah. Always.
So does that make me a panster then?
I don't know. You tell me.
I think most people are both in a lot of ways. Like I'll be a panster. I'll just start writing, and then if I get stuck, then I kind of make a little outline where I want to go, and then I start doing it again, then my pants take over.
Yeah.
My pants take
Your
over.
your panster self takes over.
This is a family show, so if you could keep it.
There was that story about the traveling pants. Maybe that's kind of where you come from.
That was a good story.
It was a good story, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like know who my characters are. I know kind of what I want them to do. I want the story to do, and that's about it. And I might have like a snippet of an idea, and that's all I need, and I'll just write. And I honestly don't know where it's going till I get done.
So I'm in the middle of writing this psychological thriller that I've been writing for about 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird thing about it is it's from I've taken from people I know.
Yeah.
And one of the people I know in the book ends up being a murderer.
Okay.
And the weird thing is, and remember, I started writing this 10 years ago. The person was recently arrested for murder. And I'm like, it was
She's prophetic. Too.
Yeah. Did I cause this? By putting it in the cosmos, right?
Yeah. It was
dear.
really surreal.
Well, write that he, straightened out and got better, and then maybe that'll happen to him too.
Maybe I'll write that I'm a millionaire. And
Yeah. And your friends Sue and Lynn are millionaires too.
We joined the millionaire club.
You know, that's something that I like, and I don't think there's a lot out there, but it's the where the author writes, and then just like you said,
There is a movie.
and it comes
There is a
out,
movie.
yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's-
is good.
Yeah, what is it Bill Murray? Or I don't remember.
I
who
think
is.
it was. Yeah, and he's literally crawling back to the typewriter as this person's stabbing him or something, and he's trying to hit the key so that he could correct what's going on.
I want to know about
It was
that.
really
Yeah.
good.
It was about 30 years ago or 20 years ago.
Of course it was. But yeah, that's
So
an idea
you were
that I-
12 when it came out. too.
So was I.
Five.
I was 5, yeah. So was I.
But that's something that I think is fascinating, and it's I don't think it's something I can write, but where you get up from the typewriter to take a break and you turn on the news and
what you just wrote
and
on
what
the news.
you just wrote is on the news.
It's a great
right?
idea.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
There's your
Twilight
assignment.
Zone. Yeah.
There's your
Yeah.
assignment.
I don't know if that's my genre.
There's no such thing as your genre because I've realized that.
For you.
Well, yeah. The only thing I couldn't
I
write is
agree,
romance
yeah.
because I don't nothing about
she-
romance.
yeah.
I told Lynn, she said, "Oh, you can write romance," and I said, "I never had romance in my life.
Yeah, you need to write
I
what you
haven't
know.
experienced it, and you
Same.
should write what you know. And I'm not going
Yeah.
to write this fantasy thing." So
I do primarily write romance, so I don't know.
So-
What does that say about me?
Means you have a loving relationship.
Yeah.
So Sandy really is the closest thing to romance I've ever written.
Because she did end up with her happy ever after.
yeah,
Still looking for that.
yeah, I quit.
Yeah.
I quit.
Yeah.
Oh, you never know.
But on that line, it's not writing, but a friend of mine just told me yesterday that first you got to remember to be happy with yourself. You
Yeah.
can't keep searching
Oh, and
for
I'm
your
such a
partner
negative
in
person
life.
too, you know?
You know,
You heard it here. You heard it here first.
You walk in the room and it's a black cloud. Yeah.
No, Sandy is so much fun. Her and Tom would razz each other, and
Yeah.
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 I
like
talk-
Sandy a lot.
I talk romance, and she throws up in her mouth.
I do a little bit. I throw up in my mouth a little.
Yeah, really.
Really?
Sorry,
I really
I
do.
won't do that anymore.
Go get some lunch.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's take another commercial break, Tay, and see who else is out there paying the bills for us, and we'll come back and talk some more with Sandra about writing, and we'll talk about some writing that all of us are doing in the future.
Attention Fremont County. The Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, WIOA, is looking for projects. Parking lot painting, lawn care, light maintenance, and sprucing up of properties throughout Fremont County this summer. Who can get help? Seniors 65 and older, individuals with disabilities, nonprofits, community, and government agencies. Visit uawioa.com That's UAWIOA.com and fill out the SPP 2019 form or call the Workforce Center at 275-7408 today.
I like a bed that's really firm.
I need something a little softer than that.
Rest easy. With the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, you can both adjust your comfort with your Sleep Number setting.
Can it really help me fall asleep faster?
Yes, by gently warming your feet.
Okay, but can it help keep us asleep?
It senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you effortlessly comfortable. Sleep Number, proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. And now save up to $500 on select Sleep Number 360 smart beds, plus special financing on all smart beds, only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Dell supports America's entrepreneurs during Small Business Month with all you need to office anywhere. Save up to 45% on computers and servers with Intel Core processors. Upgrade to new modern devices with Windows 10. Plus save on top brand tech while enjoying free shipping on everything and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call 877-ASK-DELL to talk to a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the tech that's just right. That's 877-ASK-DELL or visit Dell.com/smallbusinessdeals.
KRLN weather, mostly sunny and hot today. 30% chance of a late-day thunderstorm with a high around 90. Clouds this evening and then partly cloudy overnight with a low near 58. Sunny and hot tomorrow with some scattered showers, the high around 91. 94 a high yesterday with a low this morning of 56 and a trace of rainfall. Now from the Weather Center, 76 degrees.
Radio 1400 KRLN.
We are back with Right Time Radio, and we are in our last quarter of the hour. We are talking with Sandra Miller-Linhart, and we're here with my co-host, Sue Haas. And we want to thank Tom Bruno and Papa's Pizza for sponsoring today's show. And we want to ask everybody to go to Florence and have a piece of pizza.
And if you don't want a piece of pizza, buy me a pizza and bring it to me, and
There you
that'll
go.
be fine.
Well, I just saw an advertisement on here. It's $2 a slice for pizza today.
Ooh, yummy.
I think that's what I saw.
At his
Papa's. Yeah.
Papa's.
Yeah.
There you go.
So 2 pieces of pizza for me is $4. That's really
not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal.
Radio station address is no.
Here in Canyon City, yeah. And Tay's running the board for us today
Yeah.
because Carrie's out ill, I suppose. I'm not
don't
real
know.
sure.
She
I'm
just said a text
making
going,
that
can you? And I
assumption.
went, sure, why not?
Yeah, sure.
We could spread the rumor that she has the COVID.
No,
No,
let's
don't.
not. You and your power with the Cosmo, let's not do that.
Actually, we had the cards out this morning. They had the low card, so.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, well, we love having you in the studio with us,
Thank you.
Tay.
Appreciate it.
And he has such a good voice for radio, don't you think, ladies?
I think so.
It's a good thing I got a voice for it because I definitely get the face. So
That's what my ex-husband
See,
used to tell me.
Has a good face for radio?
Yeah, I had the face for radio.
That's why I'm here.
Sandra, let me ask you, because this always gets asked of authors, and we all get to answer this question. When someone comes up to you and says, how do I get started writing? How do you answer that question?
Pick up a pen. No, so many people, when they find out I'm a writer, author, whatever, they say, oh, I've always wanted to. And I'm like, well, obviously not, because if you've always wanted to, you would have.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
It's kind of, and I'm going to say this, even though I don't mean it, and if you've said this to me in the past, I don't mean it, but the first thought I have is it's kind of a slight to people who do write, because it's like, oh, it's so easy to do.
Yeah.
I was going to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've always wanted to write a children's book. Well, it's not easy, and it's really hard, and the rejection is really, really hard. And every time you send in a query letter or a manuscript and you get rejected and rejected and rejected, it takes a lot of... I have to tell you a story. My mom just recently passed, and when I was a little girl, she had this drawer that she kept everything in, just newspaper clippings and stuff, and I was going through it, and I found 3 manuscripts she had written.
Oh, wow.
And along with it was a rejection letter from a publishing house. And she had gotten this rejection letter and put the stories back in the drawer and shut the drawer and didn't try again because
Said, oh, well.
Because she's like, okay, I'm not good enough. I got the one rejection letter.
Right.
And I asked her about it later, and she's like, well, you know, it wasn't, but the stories were good. I mean, they could have used twerking and twerking?
Editing. Twerking, that's
Again,
a
let me
dance.
remind you, this is a family show. Wait, I've had to do that so many times today.
You have. It's because you've got 3 women in the
Okay.
studio.
These 3
He's poised over that red button, ready to hit that button and
That's
stop
like,
her.
Put the quiet button.
Censor me. So, yeah. I'm not even going to try it.
Tweaking is the word you're looking
Tweaking,
for.
but that has a negative connotation now,
Well,
too.
she
Anyway,
needs editing.
She needed
Also.
editing, and
Okay.
they could have been published had she tried. And so I think I was in junior high or high school, and I really liked to write at that point too. I was writing stories for all my friends, all 2 of them, and and I decided that wasn't going to be me. I wasn't going to put my dreams in a drawer.
All right.
And so I kept it up, and
Good
I've
for
had
you.
some ups and downs, and
Well,
you
and
know.
when people say I always wanted to write, there's not a time I couldn't.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
From the time I could pick up a pencil, I was writing stories, and from the time I learned my letters.
It's like I've always wanted to eat.
Me too.
Let's not talk about
and it
that.
shows. And I actually didn't start out writing, but I always say that I was that kid that dictated what everybody did during play. Like I'd say, okay, we're going to be the Indians and you're going to be the cowboys and y'all are going to go over there and we're going to come over here and we're going to do this and we're going to do that and you're the mom and you're the daddy and I'm the baby, and I directed everything and nobody seemed to mind, so that was okay. So I was plotting way before I was ever writing. So I agree with you. I think it's kind of in your DNA or it's not.
Yeah.
And those people who want to write and say that they want to and how do I get started, I tell them the same thing. Start putting it down on paper, write it with a pencil, write it with a pen.
And most people think that they need to write it perfectly the first time, and the fact is that you don't ever write it. Well, except for me, I write it perfectly the first time all the time.
Of course you do.
for her humility.
No editing. No editing whatsoever. Yeah. Yeah, my first book that I actually wrote and published, I went through it like 30 times, not counting the little go-back throughs.
So, I was telling somebody
a lot of critiques, too. So.
The other day, I was telling somebody that they were writing a story, and I said, by the time you'll know you're getting good at it when you hate your story.
Yeah, exactly.
You get
That's
to the point where
truth.
it's like, get this off of my desk, because then you've read it too many times.
Well, and one thing about that, writing plays, is a director will say, oh, I want you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there going, do you know how long it took me to write that one sentence?
Mm-hmm.
I changed this word 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I the order. I changed the order of the words. This is perfect. And people don't understand why they're when you're directing a play, many of the plays say, you cannot change one word.
Right. Yeah.
You cannot change one word in this play.
Absolutely.
And, I totally understand that now, because I sit there and I go,
because you labored over it. Yeah, you labored over it.
On this one sentence, and you want to change the inflection or you want to switch this word around.
Right, exactly.
So I don't think people understand sometimes how hard it is, how hard we work.
It reminds me of the song, Look What They Done to My Book, Ma.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's disheartening.
It is.
And it's true. And there's sometimes that it just flows, and you can't type fast enough to get the story down. And then there's other times you literally are struggling over every
Staring
single
at the
noun
screen,
and verb
playing
and
solitaire.
direct object.
In between.
There's that too. There's
Flip here. Oh,
staring at the blinking
6 more
cursor.
words.
That was a secret. Nobody's supposed to know that we...
Sorry. Scratch that. You didn't hear it.
We reveal secrets on Right Time Radio.
We forget.
Yeah, there's some I really don't want to know.
Poor Tay.
He's so good to us.
Earmuffs, Tay.
I got them on, but it's not helping.
It makes you hear better, actually.
Yeah. I've heard worse.
I'm sure you have. I've seen the
okay.
people that have been in the studio.
Well, some of them. Everybody's been here has been pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
See how everything's a
It's
story?
so much fun to come to KRLN. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we make things entertaining, whether they are or not. We make them entertaining. So, some way, shape, form, or fashion.
Absolutely.
We'll get that done.
Sandra, I did want to ask you, I mean, it really is an extreme that you write from children's books to adult books. Tell me, why did you decide that you needed to write children's books?
I was married to the military, not literally, but my husband was in the Army.
Yeah.
And my kids were always wondering about, why is Daddy leaving me to go help somebody else? And I was looking for books because I'm a very book person, and I couldn't find any books that really adequately address the kids' needs. So that and then I had a French exchange student in our house. And we were at Fort Benning, and she was freaking out because she thought the military was going to kill her. You have soldiers marching by. And
okay.
So I took her, I did the brave thing and took her to a Ranger graduation, which scared the crap out of her even more. So,
Bless her heart.
So then it just spawned an idea that people really don't know what our military does and what sacrifices they do. For, they leave their families. So I wrote Daddy's Boots.
Oh, nice.
And it took me, I don't know, a long time to get that published. And I went through a couple publishers and a lot of heartache, and Random House had picked it up at one point, but they wanted me to put that Daddy was going to kill somebody. What? And I refused to do it, so I lost that contract. But, so that spawned a lot of, we had Daddy's Boots, Mama's Boots, But What If, and Grandpa What If, which are all have to do with separation and deployment
The
and all that.
children's point of view, basically.
And and then I just kept it up. I had one about self-esteem, one about bullying, one about cause and effect, and it was just fun for a while. It wasn't my niche. It wasn't my genre, as you say.
I was going to say, if you want to write and you find something that touches your
It's
heart, you're
passionate.
surprised
Yeah, that you're
how
passionate
quickly
about.
it comes, whether you think it's going to work or not.
Yeah, because
you
fiction
found a need, and
mainstream fiction is my love, and then that's so I'm now getting into the stuff I love because I kept writing children's books, and I
For
couldn't,
your
it was
children.
like and it was just like I couldn't get out of it because it was what I knew, and now I'm.
But they're grown, so
Yeah, they're all grown. My youngest will be 21 in about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest,
But you're not 21 years older.
No, my sister, my daughter is now my age. She just turned
very
36
good.
yesterday.
Yes.
So.
That happened to me too. It's amazing.
my
my oldest.
old. I'm 29.
Oh, 36 is kind of old compared to 29.
Yeah, we won't talk about
So
what
much more
anniversary
mature.
of 29.
I have no comment.
He's a smart man.
I'm married.
Yeah, exactly. He's well trained.
Well trained. That's right.
Well, I love your children's book. We've had Sue. You may or may not know this, but we've had Sandra on here with her children's book. We've had her on here with some military writings that she's done as a military wife, and I love the variety of things that you do write, and I love your style of writing. I enjoy reading what you write. So
Lynn was trying to tell me about your Veterans Day story, and she couldn't even tell
I
me.
know.
She was crying while she tried to tell me.
Only dogs can hear me when I'm, being
that
emotional.
one's called Just Another Day. That's also in Diary of an Unkempt Woman, and it's actually if you notice the date, it's Memorial Day is Just Another Day, and she wrote the letter to her.
MIA.
Oh, see, now you gave it away.
I'm sorry. Shut up, Lynn.
She wrote a letter to her husband, and at the very end, you realize he's missing in action. And
yeah, she couldn't even tell me.
We had to bring in a really good person that we knew could hold it all together because she'd been in the military too, and that was Haley Atkinson. She's the strongest woman I know. Haley, thank you so much for reading that for us because none of us could do it.
I was crying.
Yeah, Sandra was bawling actually during.
And
the
I
show.
wrote it.
Gosh, it has been so much fun to have you here today, Sandra. Thank you, Sue, for being my co-host.
Oh, thank you.
Tay, thank you for running the board. Carrie, thank you for letting us come back on. And we all wore our masks and had our temperatures taken, and we've followed all the government rules to be here.
Yeah, we did. We're socially distanced.
We did.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, we're all 6 feet from each other in some way or another.
And I do want to clarify.
There are 6 feet in the room.
Well, that's true. Well, there's actually 8 feet in there, so we're okay. I want to clarify something for Papa's Pizza.
Okay.
2 slices all day. They had it posted on September 30th, so they may not have that today. So if you go in, I'm sorry if you heard that, but hopefully, maybe they will. I don't
Well,
know.
tell them you heard it on Right Time Radio,
there
and
we
maybe
go.
they'll honor it.
There
So
we go.
I'll go call Jenna right now.
It sounds good.
Thank you for tuning in to Right Time Radio. Be with us next Wednesday at 9 o'clock. We'll have Russell Chase, an amazing expert out of his little Alaska story that he's got. And I don't know what else to say other than thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Overnight,
Thanks for
Saturday
having me.
and
Thank
Sunday,
you, Sandra.
11 p.m. to 4 a.m. AM 1400 KRLN, Canyon City.